Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the land, doing what I do for you. I got something nice for you today. Let's get this party started. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life. And if it's adopted, that's what it becomes through mental and spiritual discipline daily, your daily life. Will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is to get all right thinkers to know themselves with the lessons that I give on a daily basis will help you do just that. That's my mission. Your goal is to get it, use it, and know thyself. Let's go. I asked the question, do you know you? It's rhetorical, but if you're a right thinker, you should have an answer for yourself. I'm helping you with that. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right thinkers, know thyself. And to Maya, be true. I'm wrapping up the second half of Right Thinkers. Let's talk about the second part of seek purity of your heart by, let's get purity of heart through what? Work, occupation, and your daily activities. That's where we are now. We just wrapped up the last paragraph, and the things I told you about. It was a profound teaching which you need to reflect upon seriously. Take what you do seriously. So, but watch this. Next lesson, I'm about to wrap it up for you. And after this, we're gonna go to seek heart, seek purity of heart through living a life of simplicity. Simplicity, excuse me. So that's where we're going from here. But I got two lessons in one today. Wrapping up one, let's start the second. Let's go. You know how we do. So now, even though, watch this, people who live and acquire wealth in this satanian manner, nigga rich, always had it, right? May seem happy, okay, with the wealth and the stuff that they're getting, material stuff, yeah. But watch this. In reality, they are unrest in their hearts and mind. Why? In fact, most people have been what? Convinced, obviously, that wealth is or brings what? Happiness. And this is the view of who? Ignorant promoted by ignorance promoted by society. Everybody about getting, having, and doing and being. Everybody want to be famous. Everybody want to get on YouTube. Everybody doing everything. I just teach. Okay. So by you, this is promoted by society at large and ran by the media. Wow, watch this. While there is nothing wrong with having spiritual and material wealth, again, if you're working and doing what you do, the job that you love, and it brings in, that's fine. Moving on. Most people, excuse me, who are what? Here's the problem. Most people who are ignorant of spiritual truths is what I teach. If you don't know this, you don't have a clue. So, and most of y'all who don't have spiritual truths become what? Dependent on what? Attached to their wealth as a source of pleasure and happiness, and are therefore what? Bound to pursue and hoard and protect what? Their wealth in order to what? Feel happy. What do you think? That big bank account makes you feel good. However, this happiness, watch this, which requires continued what? Mental agitation. You're always worried about your money, either making it or losing it. Watch this. It requires continued mental agitation, and worry is no happiness at all. You can't be happy and worry at the same time. Happy means no worry. If you worry and can't be happy, it don't work. They both can't occupy the same space. So even if you develop, watch this, a prosperous situation for yourself, and that's a good thing, no problem with that. Now, watch this. Your worries and your anxieties will what? Not protect you from what? Addictions that your ego self will fall victim of. And if you ain't strong willed, your constitution ain't, your spiritual discipline ain't in line, you're going to do the wrong thing. Watch this. It don't protect you from your addictions, cravings, or other forms of what? Pain, which what the world abounds you with. Every situation, they call it entanglement that you get involved with, you're responsible for your actions. Understand that. So therefore, watch this. Happiness and the consequently true wealth is what? Is not to be found in objects or possessions in the material world. Again, they're not going to give you peace, contentment, and happiness. It's just temporary things that's going to satisfy the physical senses and your ego self. It is a state of what? Of mind, which can what? Can be discovered through spiritual insight. Now, the impressions that's lodged in the unconscious mind from a storehouse of what? Restless desires, which will what? Lead to repeated entanglements, embodiments, and deprave you from what? Discovering the peace of your real self. If you got other things outside of you that's causing you happiness, it don't work that way. So understand that. Moving on. Thus, watch this. Now, while there seems to be a little justice in the world, no need, excuse me, no deed. I keep explaining this to you. If you're spiritual, not religious, but spiritual, you know what this means. You know what that insinuates. Don't fool yourself. Why? No deed goes unseen. By who? Maya. What's this? Here we go. This is my favorite part. Maya, who is what? The true self, the all-seeing soul, who what? Who supports all human activity and the cosmos. Remember, we run by Maya. That's order. Okay. And watch this. This self is what? Your very here. Listen. Your very own essence. Therefore, you are essentially Maya. I love that. You are, watch this, you are the judge and the jury of what? Your own actions. Again, karma. You reap what you sow. Watch this. And you are the judge of them. You can what? Change your entire being by what? Learning the ways of Maya, aka right thinking philosophy. I'm guaranteed you practice and you will change. Like any other religious concept, if you come in earnest and do what you need to do, you will change. Simple as that. Your choice. But watch this. When you learn the ways of Maya, and watch this, you're eradicating what? The negativity and self-ignorance you have built up in what? This lifetime, as well as probably, yeah, previous ones also. But this can be accomplished. How? By following the teachings I give daily out of the scriptures that I learned and mastered for myself. But before blindly moving into worldly actions, first of all, examine yourself. Self improvement, know thyself, it starts with you. Okay? Now let's wrap this up. So ask yourself this question before anything. This a question you should always keep in the forefront of your mind. If you're God conscious, this is how you think. Do I need this relationship or this object Or is it just to satisfy my ego? Is the desires for lust, pleasure, greed? These are all the things that the physical body loves. And if you give into that, that's what you're going to do. And most people do just that. And if they're happy with it, them shit problem. Until what? It's time to pay up. That's another lesson. But watch this. Now, when you're doing all this satisfying your ego, watch this. This is the action that I am about to do. Going to help? Is it going to help me simplify my life? Next lesson, we're going to learn how to live a simplicity through seek purity of heart through a life of simplicity. But the question is here, am I about to go, what I'm about to do, is it going to help me simplify my life? Or watch this. Here where Maya comes in at. You got a choice. Is it going to help simplify my life or will it complicate it more? A lot of us don't have that thought process when we go into scenarios in the blind. That's what happens. And if you don't weigh out the pros and the cons, good, bad, up, down, whatever you want to do, it's the concept that you have to make a choice. And watch this. Will it bring peace of mind or will it cause more agitation of the mind? If you think continuing that relationship outside your marriage is going to be good for you, you got to be crazy. So that's the concept. Watch this. Now, if it is for the ego self, watch this. It is a waste of time. Why? Because the ego cannot be satisfied. No matter what you do, no matter how much you get it, it's not going to be enough. It's greedy. And it'll never be satisfied. Watch this. Since it is what? It's an endless pit of desire. That's why. If you don't understand your lower nature is what they call the endless pit, the pit of hell, all that nonsense. Why? Because you're living in the lower self. Sorry about that. But let's get this lesson over. Now, this process of introspection, meaning you are checking you and self-awareness begins to what? Now you break in the cycle of what? Actions performed out of what? Weak will and more important, ignorance, which lead to what? Pain and sorrow later on. It might be satisfying now, and it usually is, but the downside, you got to pay for that. You're responsible for that. So moving on. I see I'm in the 12-minute mark. All right, now let me wrap it up. This teaching of occupational, choosing your occupation, right, is all major in any, excuse me, this teaching exists, excuse me, in all major world spiritual philosophies. In every religion, they teach the same thing. So the task of you, aspirant right thinker, is to what? To go beyond what? The fears of human existence. If you're God conscious, you don't live in fear. This is done by what? Adopting, listen, the study of what? Spiritual teachings, aka right then philosophy, and then doing what? Reflecting upon them with the assistance of who? A spiritual preceptor. That's I swell up on that deal. Okay. Yeah, me. Gradually, what happened? You will discover what? An occupation that resonates with your internal feelings. Something that you like to do. Why go do something that you don't love? That's crazy. For the money, we just talked about that. So moving on. Watch this. You will find something that what? That you would do even what? If you were not paid. If you love what you're doing that much, that's the desire. That's the kind of job that you should have. Why? That's what you like, and that's what you want to do. So when this happens, what happens? You will not be motivated by what? Selfish motives, and the work itself will be what? Rewarding to you, and if it's positive to society, again, you will begin to what discover you will begin to discover what? A form of peace within, which is not achieved what by most people. Most people are looking for pleasure and thrills outside themselves. So peace don't come their way. Moving on. This will assist you to have what? A peaceful disposition, which will what? Allow you to progress what? Further in your spiritual discipline, getting better at practicing doing the right thing on a daily basis will help you. So watch this. So don't worry. You are a child of God, aka the universe. And when you tread, watch this path of what? Spiritual aspiration, aspiring to do good, putting yourself in position to be blessed. And that's what happened. You will be blessed. Watch this. Even though it may be difficult at sometimes, and we know about life. You will watch this, but when it get difficult, watch this. This is the part that a lot of Christians and religious people get. You will be provided for. God will provide a way. God will make a way where ain't no way. Again, that's the power of belief. And this is spiritual law. This ain't man's law. That's just if you put good work out, you got to get good work in return. That's the law of nature. Watch this now. The key is what? Continue what? Daily effort where? In your spiritual disciplines. You live them. When you do something on a regular basis, you should get good at it, aka mastery of it. So you strive to what? Understand the teachings, no matter how many times you may seem to fail at it. Gradually, you'll incorporate what? You bring in your meditation skills. You start using recitation, which is what? Words of power. Most people say prayer, same thing. But you study the scripture and in remembrance of who? The divine throughout when? Here we go. The day. That's called being God conscious. Christians call it being prayed up. But if you keep God on your mind all the time, He don't leave you. He don't leave you, you leave him. So if you keep him intact, you fine. And watch this. The divine, you keep the divine in your mind through the day, what will happen? You will be led to works which are in harmony with your nature. You'll feel good about what you're doing. You feel good about yourself. So you're in a good position. You can't have that if you're in a bad environment that you don't really want to be in. So that's that. Now let's get to seeking purity of heart through what? Living a life of simplicity. I think I got a page. Yeah, about a page and a half. So let me try to run through this right quick because it's simple. And all you got to do is follow along. Watch this. When opulence and extravagance are a necessity instead of what? Righteousness and truth, what happened? Society will be governed by greed and unjust people. This was written in ancient times. It's an ancient Egyptian proverb. What I just read now applies to today. Sorry about that. I'm a little annoyed right now because my proof is in the pudding. You got this guy, known criminal, 90 something indictments against him, and y'all think he Monday, President's Day, they did a report. He is the worst president in history. It ain't what I'm saying. It ain't how I feel. That's a fact. You fact check me. Now nobody wants to be fact checked no more. Stop lying. Simple as that. If you keep the facts right, you ain't got to worry about being fact checked. But y'all got to be out of your mind because he's rich, supposedly, all that nonsense, just what they said. So because all that, you running stuff wrong. Sorry about that. I had to get that out. But just made that point, and this is an ancient proverb. That's why I get so animated about that. Let me calm myself down. All right, I got a few minutes. Let's go. Now, the key to reducing worldly entanglements. Didn't Jada use that word, entanglement? Wrongdoing. Okay, simple as that. TDJs. All y'all guys who do stuff in the dark, those are called entanglements. But guess what? You know the phrase. What is done in the dark will be brought to light. It only stay dark for 12 hours. So you're going to be some light coming. Understand that concept, but let's get to the lesson. And when you reduce your personal world entanglements, get out that nonsense and negative karmic impressions, which will what? Lead to future pain. And we know reincarnation is to what? Reduce the desires of the egoistic mind One important way to accomplish this is what? Simplify one's life. When reading Simplified Dollars, keep it simple, stupid. It ain't that hard. This implies what? It implies reducing one's karmic entanglement. What do you mean by that? When you know that you reap what you sow, you start reaping better things because you're responsible for what you do. And all those actions, entanglements that you sneakily do and involve in, that's what they're talking about. But watch this. When you reduce your karmic entanglements and your worries, which what? Constantly agitate the mind. Fellas, I keep using this example. You can't rest comfortably with that phone, not knowing when the side chick may call in, when the notice may hit, and this side chick knowing what time in the middle of the night. That's stress. A lot of us die from that. Why? Because they don't tell nobody. It's hidden. So you don't even tell the doctor. He wondering why your health is so bad. You wonder why. You're stressing yourself for what you do. So we are indoctrinated with what? To believe in that, watch this, material wealth. Again, start out with opulence and extravagance are necessities. We done went way wrong. Simple as that. So, and the society got us believing material wealth brings happiness. We just did that lesson too. So much, watch this, so that having achieved any measure of success, okay, now, how small, how minute? According to societal standards, watch this. We convince ourselves that what? That we're happy. I got the big house. I got BMW. I live up in so and so. Okay. Are you happy with yourself? Moving on. Sometimes, even if it means what? Early grave due to what? Overwork and increased what? Stress. Stress is the black man's number one killer. They think it's no, it's because he stressed himself out doing what? The wrong thing. You don't get old living wrong. I can guarantee you that. Moving on. So when you have overwork, you die early grave through what? Overwork and increased stress and attempted to what? Support luxuries which are not needed, or what's this? Pursuing ideals which are what? Wrong for us. All the wrong thing for the wrong reason. Just to look, there's a lot of that going on. That's what society indoctrinates us in. Everybody wants to be walk around half naked. I'm tired of seeing y'all butt. Women, come on, man. Cover the thing up. Come on, good Jesus. No, don't go there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Many who may have not achieved material wealth, watch this, are as what? As hypnotized by the idea that what? They must pursue it. They have to achieve it. And when they don't, it will yield what? When they do, excuse me, it will yield long sought after happiness. And when they get it, they find out for themselves. No, it didn't. Despite the disappointments, watch this, and the frustrations, we continue to pursue that dream and not realizing that what? Material wealth does not automatically produce happiness or peace and contentment within oneself. Hard work, perseverance, consistency, if it pay off financially, you will enjoy that. Why? Because you earned it. You worked for it. But when you got that gift and you use it, it's fine. But then what happens? Because you didn't work hard, it was a gift. You just used it to profit. You didn't cultivate it. You didn't incorporate it. You just used it. When it ran out, I'm too old now. I can go do something else. Why? Because you got a bunch of material wealth. So we push that concept. Further, watch this. If those who have achieved the riches are what? Are happy? No, it is not. Watch. If those who are, watch this. It is not because of what? The riches, but due to what? A much deeper psychological integration that has occurred. Yeah, hard work, perseverance, and due diligence. That's success. And when you get paid for that, you will do the right thing. Why? Because it was earned. Anything easy ain't gonna last long, and it's not worthwhile. You take for granted. You didn't have to work for it. I just got it. Moving on. So I've got to wrap this up. Excuse me. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Now also, just as the presence of material wealth does not necessarily constitute prosperity, mental peace, and happiness and contentment within oneself. Now, in the same way, the lack of material wealth does not necessarily constitute what? Adversity, mental agitation, or unhappiness. Be satisfied with what you got. Like my man, move on. Everybody can have a Cadillac with sunroof top and the diamond in the back. Why? Be thankful for what you got. And if you got God, you got knowledge of self, you good. You got peace of mind, you got contentment. That you can take with you to the afterlife. All this material stuff, staying here. I'm not going to accumulate a bunch of stuff. Books, yeah, you can have all that. But other than that, no. Why? I know the deal. Moving on. Simple. A life of what? Simplicity. Disappoint yourself. Want something and don't get it. See how that feels. Get used to being what? Disappointed in what your wants and your desires, because that's all they are. Sorry about that. But a life of simplicity, listen, does not mean giving up all wealth and going to live off the land. I'm going off the grid. No, it means living according to what? Necessities of life and not hoarding possessions as source of what? Happiness. I got this, I got that, I got a boat right here, I got the car over there. Or watch this, or due to some family obligation. I hear guys say they gotta buy this and they gotta buy all that. If you earned it, you do what you want with it. I tell my son, my kids, you don't owe me jack. Just being the best you got, I'm satisfied with that. That's my payment. I did a good job raising you. Do you? Don't owe me nothing. It means, watch this. I hear some people, my kids, my meal ticket. Don't subscribe to that one. But watch this. Now it means not indulging in what? Egoism. That's the driving force behind every action we pretty much do when we're ignorant. The ego is in control. I say ignorant meaning not knowing thyself, and your ego is running the show. Watch this. It means not indulging in the egoism of what? Jealousy. By what? Comparing oneself to others. Oh, he got a pretty house than mine, his car bigger than mine, and try to what? Emulate their success. I'm gonna be like, keeping up with the Joneses. All of that is not, I could care less what people think or say about me. When I do what I'm doing, that's all concerning. And watch this, trying to look good in their eyes. The divine plan has what? Prescribed a specific path for every individual. And the goal for every individual, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. In this human experience, you need to find out who the hell you are. And if you want to go home, ET, phone home. You need to know yourself, and then you go home. So moving on. So therefore, you should what? Live a life according to what? The understanding that you have been given all the necessary tools to what? Accomplish the goals of your life, which is to become spiritually enlightened, reach the nihas, become anointed, know God for yourself, and live a prosperous life. From that point on, you good to go. But to do everything without that, that's where you're going to end up, everything with nothing. So therefore, watch this. While continuing to strive for better life conditions in your life, the underlying understanding should be, watch this, that if riches are to come, it is to be by the will of the divine. Again, likewise, if adversities come, watch this, it is again for the same reason, the will from God. Both adversity and prosperities come to the person what? Accordingly. Remember karma? hmm That's what a lot of us don't even pay attention to. But karma will dictate which way that pendulum swings for you. And watch this. It comes to the person what? According to their what? Karmic history. I do this as fruits of what? Your past actions. You don't get away. I just told you, don't know deed go unseen by the eye. And you are accountable for all the deeds that you perform. Your IRE stays with you. Moving on. Now, almost done. So therefore, in order to promote positive situations in the future for yourself, all you need to do, become a right thinker, and concentrate on what? Correct, aka right action in what? The present moment, which are guided by what? The correct or right attitude and understanding of the lessons that I'm giving. Once you can subscribe and understand them, you can implement them and you see for yourself. Wrapping it up. Simplicity means living excuse me. Simplicity means living within one's means and watching over the mind's who desires for what? Pleasures and luxuries that are what? Not really necessary. So if the ego wants these things and your higher conscious said, man, we don't need that. That's how it should be done. And watch this. Accepting whatever comes as part of what? The divine plan. If it was meant for me, I'll have it. Even while what? Striving to what? Better oneself, which is done when? Every day. You get a chance to do it every day. Watch this. Now, in this way of life, feelings of what? Detachment, contentment, and peace can be what? Developed even while you are engaged in actions, which is what? Necessary in life. Do the things you need to do. Be the best at the things you need to do. Never mind what you ain't got. Never mind what somebody else got. Do you simplify your life and worry about number one? Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be back.